So welcome back. In the last module, we covered what are the most important metrics for you to measure. Remember, all effort is not equal. In order to get exponential results, you need to focus on only the 20%. And what is that 20%? These are actually two simple metrics. The first one is your cost of acquiring a customer. That is your CAC, essentially. And the second one is your lifetime value of a customer. And that is your LTV. And when you're focusing on just these two metrics, what you're essentially doing is building a profitable, sustainable business because you're acquiring customers cheaper than they're spending with you in their lifetime. So let's get into it. So what is your CAC? What is your cost of acquiring a customer? So this is your total marketing cost to spend on acquiring a customer divided by the number of customers you've acquired during that period. So let's talk about the costs, right? So what gets involved in the cost is your vendor cost, your advertising cost, any cost that you're spending on influencers, social media, any other cost involved in like campaigns, PRs, any of those costs, you bunch them up together and you divide how many customers you were able to acquire during that period or time frame. Now you can look at periods of 12 months, you can look at periods of a quarter, a month, depending on the time frame that you choose, but that's essentially how you measure your cost of acquiring a customer. And it's very important for you to measure your CAC based on your channels. So think of your CAC for your social media, think of your CAC for advertising, think of your CAC for influencers, because this tells you where you should put most of your marketing budget. If you know which channels are working in your favor, that's the channels you need to invest in more. I personally measure my advertising CAC based on Facebook and Google because I know that's where I spend most of my marketing budget. So I want to look at trend lines for Facebook and Google to decide which periods should I be investing more in and which periods should I scale back on. And this helps me optimize my marketing budget in the most efficient way possible. In a recent report by Adespresso, they found that Facebook cost of acquiring a customer was $7.19 versus Google that was $48.96. So you can see the difference. And if you had that information, where would you spend your advertising dollars? You would spend it more on Facebook and less on Google. So having these numbers at your disposal is going to change the way you look at marketing, and it's going to change the channels you invest in. So it's very important to start measuring those numbers if you're not already doing so. The next thing you need to remember is you need to measure these numbers over a period of time and draw trend lines. Because once you look at these trend lines, you're going to know which periods that you should capitalize on and invest more in, and which periods you can scale back on. So for example, certain times there's periods like the elections or there's world events that are happening and you'll notice your CAC increasing. And that's when you can pull back investments in those channels. And if you notice there's certain periods where a lot of brands are not investing and you want to actually jump in at that period and invest. So once you have these trend lines, you can draw patterns of which is the best period for your business to scale up and which are the periods you should actually scale back. For example, if you're launching a health and fitness product, you're going to realize that the best time to launch that product is going to be in Jan and Feb. Why? Because during that period, a lot of brands haven't decided to invest their budgets yet. They're still planning budgets. So the cost of acquiring a customer drops significantly. But then there's high demand because everybody is thinking about health and fitness in Jan and Feb. So that's the best time to invest in. But you will only know those trends if you track and you measure and you're looking at trend lines. That's why it's super critical that you have this data at your disposal, because that is when you can make the best decisions. So I don't mean to scare you, but the truth of the matter is that your cost of acquiring a customer, or your CAC, has grown over 60% in the last 5 years. And it's going to grow even more in the next coming years. So if you're not actively looking at strategies to push this number down, it's going to be very, very hard for you to stay profitable in the years to come. But don't worry, I got you. Because in this course, you're going to learn the exact strategies you need to apply to scale your business and stay profitable. And another thing you need to remember is that your CAC changes based on your business model and your sales cycle. So businesses that have a longer sales cycle, usually B2B or high ticket offers, have a higher CAC. And businesses that are e-com, that are low price point products, like $20, $50, $100, tend to have a lower CAC. So it really depends on your industry, and it's fine. But the truth is, once you measure it, you can optimize it and you can improve it. That's all that matters. The next metric we're going to cover is your lifetime value of a customer, or your LTV. So what is your LTV? So your LTV is measured by how much and how frequently a customer spends with you in a lifetime. So let's say you have a subscription business. Now, your LTV is measured by how many times a customer is purchasing with you month on month, year on year. And that equates the LTV. And it's very important for you to look at this metric and optimize it regularly. Because think about it. What does LTV really suggest? LTV really suggests that your customers are happy with your product and are retained. And this means you're delivering an impeccable service or product. So what does LTV really mean? LTV really means that you're delivering an amazing product and service to your customers and they are being retained. They love what you have to offer and they're happy to spend with you. That says that you're going to stay in business long run, right? To really optimize your LTV, you need to pay attention to two things. Firstly, look at the trend over a period of time, because this shows if you are actually optimizing your LTV in the most efficient way possible. Because this will tell you if you have the right retention tools in place, if you have the right product pricing. Are people coming back? Are they actually spending and making repeat purchases with you? And if they're not, then you need to go dig deeper and understand why. Because what LTV is telling you is that, are your customers happy with what you're delivering? And if you're not delivering something that keeps them coming back, then you need to change your business model or your product. But measuring this will give you the right direction of what to focus on. The next thing you need to pay attention to is segmentation. This will completely change the game with how you're acquiring. Because think about how you bucket users. If you are able to bucket users based on high LTV to low LTV, you basically can build avatars around this segments and acquire exactly this segment. So imagine if your highest LTV customers tend to be moms that are age 40 to 50, that live in Alabama. And if you could define that avatar, you can basically tell Facebook, Google, social media to go after this particular avatar because they are high value to your business. But you can only do that if you measure, track, and work towards this direction. And you can look at different businesses in your same space that have a high LTV. So a lot of these businesses tend to be subscription-based businesses. These businesses, because they have recurring revenue, tend to be very high LTV. But not every business is designed to be a subscription business. So look at your business and see what can you replicate from other examples in the industry and apply to your business to grow that LTV. And it could be launching a new product. It could be testing pricing. It could be creating upgrades and downgrade options. There's so many different things you can do to drive up that number. Just take Amazon as an example. Amazon has crazy high LTV. And the way they've managed to sustain that is by creating an amazing product experience. That means customers go to Amazon because they trust that they can find what they want and they will get it in the right time frame. Because Amazon promises quality, Amazon promises variety, and Amazon promises timely delivery. So because of those three factors, people always go back to Amazon, and Amazon has managed to drive up their LTV. So this is how you need to build retention in your business. Think about what customers are looking for from you and how can you deliver that value. Are customers looking for efficient time? Are customers looking for a great customer support team? Are customers looking for variety? Are customers looking for different pricing options, different pricing plans? Think about what they need, what they want, and how can you provide that value. CAC and LTV are interdependent. They go hand in hand. So you need to measure these metrics independently, but see how they complement one another. But both are critical for your business growth because having a low CAC and a high LTV essentially means you're going to be profitable. That is essentially it. Let's take a look at Spotify, for example. So Spotify has a business model where they're acquiring customers for their free user experience. That means they're acquiring customers with very low CAC because they're acquiring free users. And that's probably going to be under $5, under $10. But what they do is they monetize later on. So they acquire these free users and push them down a premium plan, and then they're able to grow the LTV because they charge monthly. So every time someone converts, they're going to pay month on month, year on year, until they decide to cancel. So this is how you build a business model where you're bringing your CAC down and you're increasing your LTV. Now, as we go deeper in the modules, we're going to cover various tactics and strategies on how you can do the same for your business. And take notes because there's going to be certain things that are highly applicable for your business and certain things that might not suit your business model. But as we go deeper, you have to take notes and qualify which one is going to work for you and how you're going to start executing and testing those. This wraps up Module 2. I'm super excited to dive into Module 3, so let's see you there.